to the Cooler Women's Wellness Tribe, the podcast. Get comfortable, or get your walking shoes on, and let's get going. Hello everybody and welcome to this week's episode of The Tribe, and I have a special guest today. I'm very excited about this. I've just had to press record because we've just had a full conversation of everything that I want to share on the podcast, so I feel like this is going to be a really interesting podcast for you all, and hopefully you're going to learn lots. So I have Ola here with me today. She is a yoga teacher and an Ayurveda coach here in Dubai. And yeah, she's here today. I think we're probably going to touch on a little bit of everything. So I'm not going to say one particular subject, but perimenopause, menopause, feminine energy, Ayurveda, anything that comes up through our conversation. So we're literally just going to, share as much. And welcome to the podcast, Ola. It's lovely to have you.
Thank you for having me, Joanna.
You're welcome. So I'll just give a little bit of background. So me and Ola had each other on social media. You know, you have your social media friends, and we went to a yoga event. And you know, when you catch them, you see you've got that look that I know her, but I don't know if I know her. And then we got chatting, and I was like, I think I was in Shavasana, and I was like, I need to ask Ola to come on my podcast. Because we had such a good conversation before the event. So yes, here we are.
Yes, everybody criticized the social media and Instagram. I met so many women that are friends of mine now through Instagram, and I feel like I know them for ages. Yeah, because that's the positive side of it. I really love it.
It is. It does bring people together. I think as long as you're in the right social media circle, you can meet some amazing people. Do you want to tell everyone a little bit about yourself, a bit about your background and how you became a yoga teacher?
Yeah. So my name is Ola. I'm a mom first of two young ladies, 16 and 13 years old. I practiced yoga for almost 20 years now. But in 2017, we moved to Ras Al Khaimah, which is another emirate here in the United Arab Emirates, and it was there was nothing to do. So I found more time for myself to practice yoga, and I decided to take my teacher training in 2019, and from there's no stop. The more you learn, you realize how much you do not know, and you want to learn more. And the main reason why I went into this world is to bring back my healing into my own hand. I need to be able to heal myself alone from all the symptoms that we as women, we go through without understanding why. And we directly go to a doctor, and the doctor give a medicine that hides the symptoms, but the real cause of why we're feeling the way we are feeling is still there. Mm-hmm. So yoga is about bringing our healing into our own power, so we can go through life happily and easily.
Yeah, I love that. And I think, I started yoga to heal as well, physically to begin with, because I had a bad back. And then for me, it was like, wow, this is help. Like, I just felt calm. I was dealing with things better. I was able to use my mind in ways that I hadn't before. So I'm totally with you on.
It's really amazing, Joanna. We take these things for granted now, us as yogis, because we have an awareness. We can see ourselves acting in a way and catch ourselves from going further, and grounding ourselves and soothing our nervous system. But I have few students that they come to me, and after a month or so of practicing yoga, and they can only do twice a week or 3 times a week, unlike us, and they already notice the difference. They say, I'm calmer, I sleep better, I'm better at work, I have more energy, my body's aching less, I don't have the same pain. So yeah, the awareness builds up, and it reached to a point that you feel that you have it since ever, because I do believe that we are born with it, but we reach to a point that we forget about it, and now about finding it again. We need to find our awareness again, bring coming back to us. We need to come back to us.
Yeah, that's lovely, and it definitely does. So if there's anyone listening that just thinks yoga is about fancy shapes and insta yoga that you see, it's not. And tell me a little bit about how you got into doing your coaching. So you've been an Ayurveda coach.
Okay. I always approached yoga from the healing perspective of it, because as you said, yoga is not what you see on Instagram. It's not the funky shapes, it's not gymnastic, it's not acrobat. It's moving with awareness in order to heal the body. And yes, you do heal the body, not only your muscles and your bones and your joints, but you heal internal organs like your liver. You are flushing your kidneys with certain movement. You are opening your heart, your lungs with certain pranayama. So yes, you do heal the body. And it was my teacher who sent me a book of Ayurveda, and he said, I think that's where you are. And I've been always told that because your teacher will bring out will point things to you. That's why it's very important to have a teacher, to have someone guiding you. And then your students will come and they feel, and they prove that point right. So they used to tell me that we feel better when we come to your session, like physically. They feel better physically when they come to the session. And they used to nickname me the healer. So it was something funny to say, it's like, yes, here's the healer, because they feel better after that. So from there, I decided to go to Ayurveda and to know more about the herbs, about our body constitution, about how we can fix ourselves. I'm not an Ayurvedic doctor, and that's another domain. Doctors of Ayurveda, they study like doctor of medicine. They go 5 to 6 years into an Ayurveda medical school in order to know better. But I can find my way around our energy, around herbs, around food that we cook in the kitchen for our kids, for our family, about the energy that we put into all these simple things that we take for granted in life, and make to improve the quality of our health and well-being.
Yeah. So for anyone listening that's not sure, or they may never have heard of Ayurveda, can you, I know it's going to be hard to sum up.
No, we can sum it up. We can say. Okay. So it's like we say biology is the science of life. Ayurveda is the science of life.
Right. Okay.
And then Ayurveda in old India. Okay, I'm going to start with old India and then we explain it further. In old India was found in the kitchen. So the moms, the grandmother, there are recipes for each and every house. If you have a tummy ache, if you have a cold, for women after giving birth, for women when they're pregnant, for wounds, for nosebleeds. So they had their herbs, they had their tricks, and they made recipes. And it has been transported with time from the mother to her daughter to generation to follow. But the one who were writing it were men, because the mom was busy in the kitchen. The women were busy in the kitchen. But if you think about the rest of the world, okay? For example, in Lebanon, we have our own remedies as well. We have our own rituals when the woman give birth, what to give her and how to feed her, and and if someone is sick, what to do stuff. So Ayurveda, which is the science of life and how to treat ourselves with the resources of nature, is available all around the world. And in different culture, it comes with different recipes according to the nature that they are in. For example, in India, they have khichdi. If someone is sick, they give them khichdi, which is rice with lentils and a mix of herbs. But for you, Joanne, maybe it could be chicken soup.
Yeah, I was just thinking, yeah.
And same with us, it's bone broth. So bone broth with vegetables. This is what we give if someone is not well. And we have a certain mix of herbs that we give it if someone have a stomach ache. And so in India and in other culture, they might have different herbs according to the where they are on the globe and what is provided for them there. So Ayurveda is a science that has been there for more than 5,000 years. It's as old as yoga, okay? And they back then, in accord from what how I think about it, India didn't know about the rest of the world and what was available in other places in the world. They knew what they have available within on their land. And with no doubt, I have tried them and they are healing and they help you in digestion, in symptoms of premenopause, menopause, for the skin, for so many things. They do help, but as well, we cannot ignore the other resources that are available on other places on earth that they can help us as well in healing.
Yeah.
And that being said, they always say that we are always longing for what our ancestors have been eating and healing them. So what's healing for me, for example, can be different from what's healing for you. What did your grandma loved? What did your grandma use for healing? Yeah, and that's gonna be healing for yourself. That's why immigrants who live away, like I'll give an example, in the United States, you have a lot of immigrants from ages and ages that went from Europe, left Europe and settled in the States. In their body is longing for what their ancestor had. So going back to Europe and smelling the earth and eating the herbs of their ancestor can be very much healing for them.
Yeah. And it's funny actually that you said that. So a few things just popped into my head. So, you know, when you are sick or you're feeling tired or you're just not with it, and I know I say it all the time that I'm just craving homey food. And for me, even though it's not the healthiest, but just vegetables, mashed potato, like things that we would eat in England that I'm like, I need to eat. I feel like I need something like that to make me feel better. And at the beginning of the call, I said that I'm ready for some fresh air. And I just, you know, I'm craving English countryside air because.
Yes, I totally understand you.
Yes,
like I love to go to the Far East. I love to go to Thailand, to Bali, and it's fun and we enjoyed it. But there is something about going to the Mediterranean and smelling the air and it gives me goosebumps. That brings so much peace to me, brings so much grounding. I feel like I'm really connected. And connected, when we say connected, we feel rooted. You feel your roots into the earth. Like you feel that, yes, this is where I belong. So
I totally, as you were talking then, I was like, that's why it's not just the fresh air, it's the smell, the grass, to ground me. So I'm obviously not feeling, I'm just, for the listeners, before the call I was just explaining that, I've had to have a couple of naps this week and not feeling, not ill, but just not
it's
perfect.
40 degrees, Joanne.
Well, yes, and it's 40 degrees. And that's why my British blood can't take it. It needs some fresh air. So let's talk a little bit about perimenopause, menopause, and linking it to Ayurveda. So I know that, and we chatted a little bit about this, and at the moment I think there is a big shift in people talking more about perimenopause and menopause. And I shared with you the story of the lady that went missing in the UK, and the police released that she was in perimenopause, and it was seen as a really negative, as if she was somehow crazy and she'd gone missing and they didn't know where she was. And even though I'm here and I'm not experienced it yet, I felt a real urge to sort of protect the women and think, this is natural. Why is this on the news as if she's blue with two heads? So just talking a little bit about that, your understand the conditioning, the thoughts behind it, and what you do to help you.
So I do believe that I really need, it is a very emotional subject to all women. And as a mom for two young girls as well, it's very emotional to me. And sometimes I hear the conditioning, even though I try not to, but some of the conditioning is passed through genetic, it's like it goes to them, and you need to be really aware in order to recondition yourself. So the conditioning is starting from the minute we have our periods as women. And we spoke about this, Joanne, before. So as women with period, you are considered dirty. Yeah. You cannot go to some temples, or you cannot hold holy books, and this is really sad, because I think there's nothing dirty about having your period. Your period, actually, the blood that comes out of you, it is said that to be very clean. And sometimes in the Indigos cultures, they used to go to squat when they're having the period, to squat in the gardens or where the fields are and let the blood flow, because yeah, we're not going to go there now. It's too much to explain. But they considered us like this because we were hypersensitive. We can perceive so much of other people's emotions and other people's feeling, and as well we can meditate and see more and be and connect with the other world more. So that's why we were asked or forced to be out of temples. A lot of cultures used to have the red tent, and all the women who had their period used to gather there, while the older women and the older kids used to take care of the children. So the woman can connect more with her own body and with her own spirituality, can meditate, can and then when the period of letting go, because you're basically letting go, you can come out of it fresher and clearer. So the old cultures never considered the woman in her period as dirty. Passing to the premenopause, and then premenopause and menopause. Through the time you are giving, how do you say it? You are giving birth, you are producing. There is use to you because you are giving more kids. And then the menopause, premenopause and menopause, you come, and then they considered you as useless. And that is why women get upset when they are going through the premenopause and menopause. It's the conditioning that we grew up with, that like, okay, my life is over. I don't have necessarily any, no one, I cannot serve the surrounding in a way that's beneficial for everybody. We're talking about our sexuality, femininity, and other stuff, and it brings us down. Yes, the hormones fluctuating in the body throughout our life, we know that they affect us somehow, but we can, in grounding ourselves in meditation, and we will talk about meditation, why we should meditate. In meditating, in grounding ourselves, we can overcome them somehow, but we need as well to respect that this is happening, and if I'm not feeling well, I'm not feeling well, and it's okay, and it will pass. So all our hormones fluctuating are going to affect us, but we can find our way around them. First of all, as premenopausal and menopausal women, your life is not over. You are all queens now. You are all queens now. The level of your, in the old days when men want to do any decision, they take the decisions among them and they go to the old women to ask them, is it okay, yes or no? I wish they do that now. Maybe the world will not be in such a mess, because we have so much wisdom. We have so much wisdom because we do not think with our head only, we think with our heart. And this is something men are, not all men, some of the majority of the men, they don't have access to it. They don't have access to their femininity. but we have access to both at the same time in a way that's not accessible to man, because we are able to do so much, which is the masculine energy, and execute and cook and take care of everybody. At the same time, we are able to sense what's happening around us in a way men are not able to do it. We have wisdom, we have a way to perceive what's going to happen later on in a clearer way, than better than man, in a clearer way. So your life is not over. Your life has just begun. It's just a new era. Embrace it and move through it. Yes, you need to do more physical work, not physical work, like more sports, because during your period, for your period to come and your ovaries to move, you need around 400 to 500 calories more. So once you are in menopause, these 500 calories, you have either to eat less, which I don't like, I love my food, or exercise more. And what we mean by exercise is go for a walk, another plus 1 or 2 classes of yoga a week. That will help you, work around the house just to burn that excess calorie that it might go to your hips and the surrounding of your belly once you are going to your menopause. Working on our muscles is so good. It's very good to do stretching and soft exercise. But for me, for example, I go to hard yoga classes where I'm using my body weight to move, because we need to strengthen the muscles so they can hold our bones better. So we grow gracefully with no pain. Your nervous system. 99% of illness and problems women have are because their emotional needs and nervous system emotional needs are not met, and nervous system is not pacified. We are on fight and flight mode all of the time. Ask your family members. Tell them, I need for my emotional needs to be met. What are our emotional needs? To be loved no matter what. To feel safe. To feel loved the way we need it, because someone's love can be through food, for example, or through gifts. For me, it's through hugs and through, the physical touch. So to feel surrounded, to be able to say your words without thinking how they're gonna land on somebody else's emotion, to talk freely. So talk to your partner, talk to your family members, tell them, I need you to do this and that in order for me to feel better. Dedicate time throughout your day for yourself. And this is not selfish. Have a couple of hours a day where you do things that you need to do. I have 2 hours in the morning, 4 times a week, where I go to my yoga class, I switch up my phone, and I don't want anybody to call me. I don't want anybody to talk to me. But doing that, I can be available for my kids and my husband in a better way. If I don't do that, I'll be the grumpiest woman on this earth. So you need to decide, what do you want? Do you want me available through that time, or do you want me to be the good me? And people have to accept you the way they are, the way you are, because you spend your life accepting everybody the way they are. And I know us as a woman, we are so much, we overlook so many things just to make everybody welcome and to make everybody feel okay within their skin, no matter what they're doing wrong. So it's your time to be queens. So claim your throne.
Oh, I love all of that. And I do think that, and I was just thinking of my mum, and I don't think she's ever asked for help other than when she doesn't know how to use her phone.
Yeah.
And just thinking that I can see now I'm getting older and obviously learning more about the body, where if she'd have just asked for help, how things would have been different. And just if she reached out a little bit more, because as teenagers, younger people, you look at your mom as being your mom, and unless your mom says, look, I need help, then I feel like you're not really, we wash the dishes and things, but more spiritual help, more
Yes,
mom,
yes.
do you want to sit down and rest?
Yeah.
So when I go home, I'm definitely going to tune in a little bit more.
Yes.
And let and just because she's never asked, and for anyone listening to this who's a mom, go and ask, go and say what I need. Yeah.
And lead by example.
Mm.
I want to say 2 points. First one, all moms, if you look, I'm 45 years old in July. And if I remember the 45 years old, my mom, she looked like 10 years older than I look now.
Mm.
Okay. So it's about conditioning again. They have been conditioned, and the conditioning has been going from generation to generation, thinking that if you kill yourself, I don't know how to say it in another way, because English is my third language, so you have to excuse me. But basically, you have to sacrifice yourself and feel sick within your body and exhausted in order to be a good woman, in order to be a good mom. If you're taking care of yourself, that's the back generation, the old generation. If you're taking care of yourself and you're feeling good about your body and dedicating time yourself, you were labeled as selfish. So bless them, they've tried to do their best in order to be a good example for a woman, but the conditioning has been going through generations, and so it's our turn now. It's our duty and job to stop it, because I don't want this for my daughters. And I don't want this for myself. So you lead by example. When they come to the house, my daughters or my husband, I make sure to ask them and to tell them, like, how do you feel today? Or if they look upset, I can see that you're not okay. What's happening? Maybe you need to rest. So when they see me upset, now my youngest, the 13 years old, she comes, I pick them up from school. And if I'm not okay, she goes like, Mama, you're not yourself. What's wrong? So let them learn to see through you, to see, to read people's energy as well, especially the one around them, so they can tend to them, so they can help them. And so can their family in the future help her as well, for my daughter, so she knows how to feel energy and how to teach her kids to feel her energy as well, because sometimes it's hard for us to talk. So having those around you that can feel your energy is so important. We have to reconnect with our energy. A child, a baby, like let's say a toddler running around, if someone is or an animal, the cats, they feel it as well. If you're sad, my cat will come to me. She sits in my lap and she purrs to make me feel better, because she's feeling my energy. As a human, we disconnected from that. We're no longer connecting with our energy or with the energy of people around us. So we need people actually to talk, to tell us, so that we can understand that, if we understand as well, because sometimes even by talking, they're not understanding. So connect with your energy. Teach your kids, your sons, your daughters to read energy, to feel each other's energy, to see beyond the face, to go deeper. And that will help you and will help them as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's stepping away from the modern world that we live in, that isn't about reading energy, that's about go, 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 and squeezing as much as you can into one day. And if you haven't finished in a work day, then stay those extra hours, but really just having, and I guess it takes a little bit of courage to say, no, hold on a minute. You're the most important thing. And then you've got your family, and really, listening to each other, teaching your families, taking a step back to say, no, I need to rest, and showing your daughters, showing your sons that mom's going to rest now. And they will then grow up knowing that it's okay to rest, and it's okay to say no, and no, I'm not going to work late, and I'm not going to work over the weekend.
To set boundaries, basically. You need to learn to set boundaries. And we don't need to be people pleasers all the time. You need to say no. You need to no, it's not going to work this way. Yeah. And once you learn that at a young age, it will grow with you, and you'll be safer, you'll be healthier, you'll be happier.
Yeah, definitely. And even just reflecting as you're talking, I can see bits where I am learning, and especially because, I've taken a different path, but there have definitely been times when learning from my mum, just, keep calm and carry on, just carry on as normal. And I have been guilty of that, in which I
Yeah.
am learning to slow down when some days you're full of energy and you can go, and then use that creativity, use that flow. But on the days when you're not really feeling it, doing something that matches your own energy without the guilt. And I think it's the guilt that
Yes.
that you get. And I know that I've dealt with when I first left school teaching to come and do my own business. I would give myself a full schedule all day, just because that's what I was used to, and I had a whole timetable, and it took me a few months to think to actually, like, you picked this life because you didn't want this. I wanted to be able to go and walk the dogs in the middle of the day, or take a nap, or watch some TV without feeling guilty, without feeling like I have to sit on the laptop because this is working day. And it did take me a while. I think from September till Christmas time, I was having to tell myself, step away, this is the life you chose, you're not doing that life anymore. And it was the guilt. And I think that just comes from modern life, the conditioning from living in such a, growing up in a patriarchal society that is, the hard work is honored and rest isn't. And it's like you said, honoring that rest and seeing it as just, it's more important than the hard work.
Yeah. It has been proven, if you rest more, you are more productive. Yeah, isn't it? We have few like in Sharjah, where they have the 3 days off now. It's another emirate. They have noticed that the productivity had risen, the sick days, there are no more sick days, and people are actually happier.
Yeah.
We forget sometimes that we are human being, not a human doing. Keep on doing all the time is not actually or necessarily better for yourself. You need to step back. We all need to step back. So many times I think, how less do we need to live? We don't need too much. But we grew up, and we still are in a society that is conditioned that you need to have more in order to be happy, in order to be well. Yes, you need your medical insurance. I need to send my kids to, and I'm so grateful for that. Don't get me wrong. It's like, I'm grateful for what I have, but how much is enough? And when to stop?
Yeah.
And what are so many people are sacrificing their health, their relations, their families, in order to have more. It's like, we need to step back sometimes. There's so many people that have so much, are so unhappy. And people who are living with the minimum, and you can see joy out of their eyes. So we need to reconnect with our humanity, reconnect with the nature, be grateful for what we have. Be grateful for the small things. I just had a bread with avocado and a poached egg, and I was like, wow, I mean, this is heaven. It's like just the simple things, it's like, yeah, you don't need to have, I don't know, it's like, just enjoy the simple stuff. Allow things to bring you joy. It's not silly, it's funny, it's nice. Yesterday I had a group of 5 ladies doing yoga in my garden, and recently I'm teaching them to do the tripod. The tripod, it's like the headstand. It's like, and they are all like, the youngest one can be maybe 37 and up to 50, and you have to hear the giggles, Joanne, just because they were able to do the tripod. Like, connect with your child, connect with the things that make you happier. This is what pacify your nervous system. This is what makes you get out of the fight and flight mode. Yeah, this is what now we are programmed to go to fight and flight, but we need to go back to the normal nervous system. You need to come back to yourself and pacify your nervous system every now and then. You cannot drive the road on the road here, especially here in Dubai, in a meditative state. You have to be really alert, but you need to come back to yourself after and calm yourself. And yeah.
Oh, I love that. And I had a lovely image then of the ladies doing tripod headstands in the garden. That's so nice. Okay, so just to end then, if there's one piece of advice or one tip, I always ask for one last thing at the end. What would your tip of the day be to the listeners? One thing that you'd like them to take away with them?
Okay, your nervous system. If you 99%, and we have to make another episode, Joanne, about the doshas, so I can explain more about the doshas to see how they are connected, how they are connected to so many illnesses that we have. Most of the illnesses that we have in our bodies these days are because our nervous system is always on alert. Take care of the nervous system. Meditating, I don't mean the Buddhist way of meditating, like sitting, closing the eyes. If you can do that, good for you. I still cannot do it. But go for a walk, connect with the nature, sit on the beach, watch the sunset. Watch your kids playing in the garden or your dog running around. Something that calms you down, grounds you. This is how you heal your body. This is how the stress leaves your system, and then you can function better. If you can take care of that, I promise you 50% of all symptoms that you have within you, the unease that you have in the body will disappear.
Yeah. That's a good one to end on, the nervous system. Thank you so much. Thank you again for joining me. I've loved that, and definitely we'll do another episode and we can talk about the doshas, and we can share that. So if anyone's thinking, what are they talking about now, part 2 will come up soon after the summer when we finish traveling. We'll do part 2. Thank you very much, Ola.
Thank you for having me, Joanne.
And that's it today, everybody. I hope you have a lovely week, and I'll see you again next week. Don't forget, 5 stars, download, tell your friends. You're amazing.